Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So we are going to be talking about IPO season. So we have Gemini and a lot of other companies that we're going to talk about, but we're going to put the focus on Gemini for having initial public offerings in the stock market and how that correlates with the bullish sentiment of crypto and Wall Street completely coming on chain, the banks getting regulatory clarity and the green light to be able to offer crypto products and services for retail investors. And you're bearish just because Bitcoin dipped a little bit, just because we cooled off in the market during a bull run. Guys, we are only halfway through the euphoria. We haven't even hit a euphoric phase. This is all institutional buying and selling, my friends. So I want you to lock in. I want you to focus. And today we are going to be talking about some of the stocks that are going to be on the radar and in the focus for the next couple of years. One of them being Robinhood, one of them being Galaxy Digital, one of them being Circle. We have a recent new IPO called Bullish that we're going to talk about. And we're going to correlate all this with how we are going into what I think is going to be one of the biggest altcoin runs we've ever seen. While everyone could be telling you that altcoin season is not a thing, it's dead, the idea of an altcoin season, we're going to have to wait a few more years. I do not believe that to be true. I'm a little more on the side that we will have an altcoin season, and it might just, have to marinate a little bit. But I think everything is lining up for us to be going into a pretty bullish season. And so, my friends, we are excited. We're excited. Let me get the chat up. All right. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you let yourselves be known. And also, let me know how my new microphone sounds and also looks. I got a brand new microphone. So we are going to be sounding more crisp. We're going to sound nice and crisp. Nice and crisp. Get your coffee. We're having some coffee. As Ivan used to say, no milk, no sugar. No milk, no sugar in the coffee. Just black coffee today. For the second coffee, at least. We're a latte guy. We like to make the fancy lattes. We were a barista for years, or once a barista, always a barista, as they say. But okay, so let's get into some of the charts. We'll talk about how the market was cooling off a little bit. We'll see if we actually got a nice bounce. Looks like we did. We have been kind of grinding on making some videos, so we haven't really been for like the entire day yesterday. We didn't even look at the charts really. We weren't trying to trade. We weren't looking at the charts. We just knew that Bitcoin was taking a plunge and there was going to meet a possible point of support, which lines up, if you look at the daily, of the beginning of August. So from the beginning of August, we basically, from the 1st of August, had traded up to the 124,000, up 11%, and now we just ranged down another 10%. So we basically just bing bonged into a level, and we're just range trading now between these two levels. If you're looking at this, you could say, okay, well, that was a great shakeout, and we're just sweeping the liquidity at the obvious support from the recent low, because we tried to test that 120, 124 or 123 level, but look at the wick. It wasn't really sustained. We had this really long wick, and you can see that eventually gave us this sideways action, and then we figured out where we wanted to get support, which was fairly close to where we were in July. So now if you're really bearish and not more on the bull case that we get something like this, where we'll actually test we'll test the 125, 126, and then we'll go to one of the Fibonacci extension levels. You're more on the bear side, that we continue to get rejected and we'll really sweep the lows, and we break 110 and we go down to like 104 and we end up looking like this, and we're like everyone starts freaking out. You got to go back to work. You quit your portfolio was looking hot. You quit your full-time job. Now you have to go back to work and you're depressed. But let's not worry. Let's not get too doomer on everything. We want to make sure that we are looking at the markets, cool, calm, collected. We're not making any rash decisions. This is normally the time, if you're going to look at it, even based off of the 4-year cycles, we haven't really hit the point of the peak banana zone. If you look and see what we've done in previous cycles, we're just kind of following this trend of peaks. Usually peaks out, and what we did is we just took this purple box and we said, okay, if we can get the same measured move that we did in the previous cycles, then that would lead us to peak in this particular run at $340,000 per Bitcoin. Some analysts are calling for us to hit $200,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the year, which means if we did follow that trend, then we would let's see. I have to find, where is it at? Give me just a second. I have to find this thing. It's always so, I don't know why it's so hard to find this. Why is it so hard to find this pattern? There it is. So we just saw that dip. I want to see where in this particular cycle I could pull from, about halfway, I guess. So like halfway. So I'll bar pattern it. No, not that. I gotta do it from here. Nope, that's still not working. Hold on. Maybe I have to do it from here. There we go. Okay. So let's just say we do something like this. This might help. Because then we're hitting the Fibonacci extension. We're trading up into the trend line. We're getting rejection off of one of the 618s here. We trade up to 156. Like this is kind of where I'm at, where we're gonna see some interesting weekly candles going up to 157. Then we'll consolidate back down. We'll push up to the 3.618, which is the 200,000. We crash back down to 150. Which would actually be a pretty decent, quote, crash, 30%. And then from that 30%, we test back up to, we test and we hit the trend. We hit the trend line. It's best case scenario. Best case scenario right there for Bitcoin. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. What do you guys think? You guys think that's possible? I like to give myself that hopium. If we look at what the MACD looked like on this run, it was a really nice setup. We had a bullish cross. You can see the RSI was primed as well. Bearish divergence. It was kind of like a hidden bearish divergence. It was really hard to see this one because it was weeks long and months long from here, April to then November, where it peaked. But you can see bearish divergence. People got destroyed here. That was a tough one because some people maybe sold all their bags right here and then had to buy back in because they were like catching FOMO because they were like, crap, it went right back up. And then altcoins were doing some insane numbers too. So speaking of altcoins, real quick, we'll go through the altcoin analysis now. Chainlink has been stealing the show. So we've seen now the Wyckoff accumulation happen on the weekly chart. The Wyckoff accumulation has been something that has happened with altcoins that are strong because you're seeing big money does this pattern and it just follows a trend. It's not a big pump and a dump. It's not like that. It's basically just kind of like steady accumulation, test the lows. You can see exactly where every time we've talked about this pattern, we're starting to realize it too. You get that double bottom pattern. Really healthy one is that you get a higher low in the W. So here's the W right there. It hits the price resistance wall, which you can see matches up with previous price action months prior. And all it is an accumulation. It's distribution, accumulation. And you can see it happening now in real time. While Bitcoin and ETH got hit and took a breather, Chainlink is revealing itself as the rotation, which is really cool. So Chainlink is revealing itself as the rotation in the first coin. And we can see what else is now getting some of that price action as well. We were seeing Crow, the Crow token connected with crypto.com. Kronos chain has its own ecosystem, but the Crow token is very much intertwined with crypto.com. We've been really watching this because when Ethereum does well, and we were in a bull run in altcoin season, you remember the Crow token did really well in 2021 and going into basically altcoin season and the bull run in November 2021 was a key month for altcoins to see which ones did hundreds of percent moves to the upside. And so, excuse me, Crow did really well. And so we're just kind of betting that it'll do something very similar from the bottom. You can see on the bottom here was at 11 cents and 8 cents was a nice bottom, good accumulation range right here. And even running up to test that first big resistance at 35 cents, that's 320% move to the upside. We test previous bull market all-time highs. That's 1,000% from the bottom. And if you are obviously catching a price even still from here, and we're testing up to the bull market highs, that's a pretty decent return. I mean, that's you're looking at a potential 500% move to the upside, just getting back to bull market all-time highs. And so we've liked to compare that with other coins that are doing well and showing really bullish patterns and accumulation patterns in the charts. This is a really bullish one too. A lot of times, really good one is like a trading channel. I've seen like Sui is in one right now. Sui is just in a really nice channel. And if you see things like in a cup and handle as well, that signals that we could get a really nice breakout, because this is, just kind of like a textbook pattern. We've seen that, we've revealed even gold had a bullish cup and handle pattern in accumulation that eventually broke out, and that's why gold hit its price target. If the same fundamentals played out with Ethereum and all of the DeFi lending protocol aspects, like fundamental ones like Aave, Compound, MakerDAO, any of those legacy lending protocols on ETH are going to still pump. And once institutions start using them and loading up on the liquidity with stable coins, we're going to talk about the stable coins. That's we got some news to cover. A lot of it has to do with stable coins and also the IPOs. We're going to get into the IPOs, but right now we're going to continue to talk about the altcoins here for just a little bit. And I'm going to have to get on decaf. I'm on the second coffee. Second coffee, no breakfast. I feel like I ate a lot over the past couple of days, so it's like I can maybe give my body a break. I went to Epcot, so you can imagine. I was trying to get down, but all right. So shout out to everyone who's tuning in. It seems a little slow. It's always when the market's green, everyone's happy, everyone wants to come on the live streams, and then when the market is in shambles, people are nowhere to be found. But but we got Don Cabrera in the house. Let's see how many people are watching across all platforms. We have 27 people that are tuned in on X. We have one person watching on Twitch, and we have 2 people watching on YouTube. Oh my gosh. YouTube is doing its shadow banning. I don't know. But all right, so let's just give you guys a quick reminder that we have an X account. We also stream there as well. Headband is tuning in. You switch your profile picture like every day. You're like a ninja. Every time you get a new NFT, you switch your profile picture. I was always afraid to switch my profile picture because I want people to just recognize one and have one in their brain, so when they see it, it's just kind of like, it's like a brand, And then I made the choice to make this freaking Sproto my picture, but it seems to fit me for some reason. I don't know why, but I like it. Okay, so let's get into the news. We're gonna get into Gemini and the details of their IPO. But first, we're going to list all the companies that are going to be IPOing for this year, and some of them have already accomplished the IPO, which is bullish, and there's some other ones that we're gonna go down the list. So it could be something to pay attention to where it comes to the ecosystems inside of Kraken, Gemini, this new asset exchange, bullish. So yeah, we're gonna get into. So Kraken, we know is an exchange, very popular exchange. Recently, they listed one of our favorite coins, XYO. So that's cool. Kraken is gearing up for a potential IPO in 2025, though no specific date has been set. It raised over $100 million in a pre-IPO funding round in June 2024, with valuation estimated between 2.5 and 4 billion. So its plans are impacted by an ongoing SEC lawsuit. So I don't know. So we'll kind of have to see what happened with Kraken on that note. But Gemini recently has been in the news. So Gemini confidentially filed for a U.S. IPO in June 2025 with an estimated listing date in late 2025 or early 2026. Its last valuation was $7.1 billion in November 2021. And so here is some of the, let's see. So one big thing, Gemini's IPO. So crypto exchange Gemini is moving to go public despite declining revenue and wider losses in the first half of 2025. So the offering will test whether momentum from bullish and Circle provides coattails to appear with weaker fundamentals. Gemini posted revenue of $33 million in the second quarter, so it was down 5% from the same period a year earlier. Net loss grew 374% to $133 million. The company's loss stemmed in large part from a drop in income due to falling valuations of its crypto assets. So you got to think about it like these crypto companies and these exchanges, you know, they're holding crypto. So when we go into a bear market, like they're going into a bear market as well. They don't have as many people trading. They don't have retail, and retail, like we've always explained, has not come back. They are gone. You know, they're barely dipping a toe into wanting to buy crypto for obvious reasons. Like a lot of people are operating on credit. Their expenses are really high and they have like $50 left. And so actually more people, instead of buying crypto and investing and thinking long term and think, okay, let me do this, they're sports betting. They're playing hard, they're on hard rock bets. They're probably even going as far as doing the prediction markets and and using those platforms and not actually steadily investing. It's just kind of a different mindset, because when you feel like you just have like just a little bit, you're not going to take your last $25 and go buy Bitcoin. You're not thinking like that. It would be smart to, and to even put $25 steadily into, if you already have an existing investment account, or you already have a 401k set up, you have maybe an IRA set up, whatever it is, you're just making steady progress into putting it in there. So, but yeah, so it makes sense that these companies like the revenue, you know, they're not, you know, pulling in as much, especially with like kind of the big exchanges. So I wonder if that'll change. So says trading volume, which determined most of Gemini's revenue, have been rising, but the business was bogged down by lower average fee rates, incentive paid to market makers as it competed with larger players for volume. So interesting. Circle generates reliable income from reserves backing its stablecoin and has shown profitability, which led to a 168% surge in its stock on its first trading day. Because yes, we saw Circle went up a total of like, I think it peaked out from the IPO, it was like $60, and it went up 350%. It crushed it. And so meanwhile, Bullish went public with strong revenue growth and priced above range before trading up 84%. So we covered that on the last live stream about Bullish. And let's see, traders will inevitably move away from a smaller venue and go to a bigger one. Better spreads, more counterparties. According to CoinGecko, in the last 24 hours, trading volume on Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Kraken all surged above 1 billion. Gemini was at 244 million. So the bottom line, Gemini's IPO is less about fundamentals and more about market timing. Investors who buy in will be paying for exposure to a well-known brand rather than a play on sustainable profitability. So that's interesting. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how that IPO goes. Like we said, we've covered some of the IPOs and we have been covering this. Yes, they had issues. They were in a lawsuit with one of the companies that they were dealing with their bank. I can't remember exactly what it was. We could ask AI really quick and just be like, hey, what was the lawsuit that they were in? Yeah, I remember there was something. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But let's look at bullish. So bullish, the initial IPO, the pre-sale, was $33. So you were able to buy, because I was getting notifications and I was thinking about doing it. And if you look at, if we like go to the 1 hour chart, it launched at $80, it wicked up to 118, and then on the same day, it kind of bottomed out at $69, traded back up to 84 the next day, and then now we're kind of sitting at, it looks like, so we got some volume up too. We got a little bit more volume. Looks like we could be bottoming out here. 56. We got to remember the initial price offering was at $33. It was about between 33 and 36, and then as closer it got to the IPO, it was like at $39. So average cost probably, you know, 39 bucks. Initial sellers on the day peaked up to there, because you got to think it happened really quickly too. You know, you see the wicked up to 118, sell off, another rally, and then bam. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I did get a new microphone, and it's catching a little bit too much of the other audio. It's picking up the audio bouncing from the wall. Okay, true. Give me just a second. Yeah, let me test it. I had to put this cover on it because it has this light that you can't turn off. Oh, but it just sounds like a big room. Okay. How does this sound? Does this sound better? How is that? Does that sound better? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. There we go. All right. A little bit more directional. Okay. All right. Yeah, he's like, let him cook, continue to cook. Okay, everyone, do you agree? Does that sound better? Just like go to the live stream and we'll have to see what it sounds like. It's green, everyone's happy, everyone wants to come on. Oh yeah, that's 30. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, true. Does this sound better? Oh, but it just sounds like a big room. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to play with it a little bit. Yeah, I'll have to play with it. Let's see. Increase the gain a little bit. And a little bit more low. I'm doing my I'm EQing it right now. I'm EQing it. Take a little bit of the highs. All right, check 1 2 1 2. All right, hopefully that's better. Hopefully that's better. Let me know. Just let me know. Okay. We're going to continue going down this list. We talked about bullish. We just gave you the rundown on that. Gemini, Kraken. So we have BitHum or BitThumb, South Korea's second largest crypto exchange, holding to the BitThumb plans to list on South Korea's, so we don't have to worry about that. Thailand's leading exchange, crypto platform offering trading. Let's see, blockchain.com. Falcon X. So Falcon X is exploring an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange with preliminary discussions underway. Crypto-focused brokerage for institutional clients. Consensus, so software engineering firm supporting Ethereum development, known for its MetaMask wallet. While no official IPO announcement has been made, a January 2025 tweet response from CEO Joseph Lubin hinted at potential IPO. So that one could be huge. Okay, so, all right, so hopefully, yeah, so look, okay, so my mic hopefully sounds better. Yeah, this mic has like 5 or 6 different settings of directions, and I have to look at the manual again and go through each one, because you have to like hold down the button, and if the light is ringed in a certain pattern, then that's when you know what pattern it is. So I just have it'd be easier if it was just like a switch. You could just go do 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 do. But okay, so chain analysis provided investigation and compliance solutions for law enforcement. Okay, so that no formal IPO filing has been confirmed, but it has cited as a prime candidate for 2025 with a valuation of $8.6 billion. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I think, even with the stock market and a lot of the IPOs. So I wanted to talk about it and just have it be crypto focused, because you could be adding these into your existing, portfolio, whatever you have, and just kind of have some diversification. Yeah, I don't want it omnidirectional. I just want it to just be catching, just like doop. It needs to just be. Okay. Chain analysis provided investigation and compliance solutions for law enforcement. Okay, so all right, that's a little bit better. Maybe I just need to get a little bit closer to it. Testing out a new mic today, guys. We're testing out a new mic. Okay, what else? Tron. So we know about Tron, but if you don't know, a blockchain platform led by Justin Sun focusing on decentralized applications. So Tron is pursuing a public listing through a reserve merger with NASDAQ-listed SRM Entertainment, brokered by Dominary Securities. The timeline points to 2025. So this was in the news. So I wonder. So yeah, NASDAQ-listed SRM. So let's check out SRM. Let's go back. SRM Entertainment. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually on here. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, maybe that's not actually listed yet either. And then we have the World Liberty Financial. So Liberty plans to raise 1.5 billion via Nasdaq listing in 2025. So yeah, that's going to be, it's a nice list. Okay, so now we're getting into the stable coins. China approves yuan stable coins to challenge dollar rule. So China's government is poised to approve the yuan-backed stable coins for the first time, reversing its 2021 crypto ban to boost the yuan's global adoption and challenge U.S. dollar dominance. Officials will discuss the plan at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Shanghai later this month, driven by tech giants like Alibaba's Ant Group amid growing geopolitical tensions in digital finance. So this is bullish, I guess. I mean, I guess you can say it's bullish. It's time to start shifting focus. Instead of relying only on burn-centered strategies, we should embrace a utility-first vision, building products, tools, and ecosystems that use SHIB at their core. When Shiba Inu coin becomes the fuel for real-world or crypto-native activity, burns happen naturally and sustainably without being the sole focus. That's from Shiba Inu. Are you guys still bullish Shiba Inu? All right, so stable coins. Athena's 9.5 billion USDE could now challenge USDC's number 2 spot by 2027. So what do you think? What do you guys think about that? What do you think about all of these stable coins? Do you trust them? Do you trust them? If you guys remember, we had just an insane crash of a stablecoin and depegging with UST with Terra Luna, and it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. It was like a disaster. So I want to just remind you guys of that and say, yes, you can hold stable coins, but not all stable coins are created equal. And we probably want to focus on the stable coins that are going to get billions and billions of dollars minted. That might be the one that has the most trust and where institutions are comfortable putting billions and billions of dollars of their wealth on a specific chain, because it would be a disaster if these institutions and this money and this liquidity goes into an area where it crashes. That's probably a reason why you don't see much liquidity going on to certain chains. And why you see more stables being minted maybe on Solana, Ethereum, Tron. Because this is gaining a little bit more of that trust and maybe, trust of the network, because these are all networks at the end of the day and blockchains. And so that's what we have to, I guess, judge where the confidence might be. But it's all a risk. So where are you going to put that risk and weigh the risk out? Like, for instance, the Pulse Chain sacrifice phase was in summer 2021, 1,476 days ago. So you really have to believe in something. You have to play the long game. If you really, like, for instance, if you really believe in Pulse Chain and what Richard Hart's doing and these ecosystems and these tokens, then what you'll do is you'll just have fun and you'll play DeFi and you'll play around with pumped out tires and you will hold the core tokens and just have patience. And that's what if you believe in anything in crypto in these chains, that's what you'll do. I mean, if you believe in Solana, you'll have some Solana in your wallet and you'll be holding core ecosystem coins. Don Cabrera, World Liberty Financial, they use Ethereum, they use Binance Smart Chain, holdings by chain. So they use Mantle. They actually hold Mantle on Mantle. Looks like, yeah, 8.2 million Mantle. Avalanche, they hold about 102,000 Avalanche. They hold, actually, are these all just like Avalanche tokens, or do they hold some stable? No, they don't actually hold. Okay. But it looks like mainly on this wallet, at least this one, this tracked wallet, is a lot of Ethereum and a lot of Aave staked coins. So in Binance Smart Chain, I think they they actually have a lot of on BNB chain, because there's 13 million on BNB. So they have the, is this where they have these, okay, so they're holding EOS on BNB chain, eGold, the EGL1. Is that eGold? I think that's, yeah. And I don't know what this is. But then the USD1, yeah, what chain is that on? It's on Ethereum and BNB. So actually, the World Liberty Trump-backed stablecoin USD1 is on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, and they're trying to push this like as a huge like stablecoin competitor, an option alongside USDC. They're trying to get this into exchanges, being able to use this as liquidity on exchanges. So it's really interesting. But yeah, the actual, if you look at the portfolio, this is why I've been really interested in Aave still, because Aave's been around for so long now and has been kind of the leading, legacy lender, borrower, staking protocol, wherever you can do, earn yield, do all that stuff. So I see this as like, a $1,000 coin, like easy. Like we break this pattern here. And so that could be, pretty awesome, pretty awesome buy, just kind of like stable, like a stable hold, nothing super crazy, nothing super volatile. Sometimes it's good to have altcoins like that in your portfolio where it's not like, there's no drastic dumps. It's just like nice, kind of like steady accumulation. You can see that, people are still using it. Big money's using it. So I'd be interested to see how that all plays out with the stable coins. Remind you guys that the politicians are bullish.
I'm particularly pleased with President Trump's support of my strategic Bitcoin reserve initiative, which will address our national debt while securing America's position as the global leader in financial innovation. As Bitcoin comes into more usage, its use makes the whole system more secure, more robust, and more capable of serving our needs all over the world. We should be the global leader with this fantastic new ledger-based asset that is in a digital format that is going to be transformative of everyday economy and puts the everyday American, in fact, the everyday worker all over the world, in control of their own money. What a wonderful blessing for hardworking people all over the world to have this great new technology and to have America lead the way in implementing this wonderful, wonderful innovation.
Let's go. Let's go. But then everyone right now is like, wonderful tech. Beautiful tech. Great new, great new technology. We're like, wonderful tech. What wonderful tech. It is kind of crazy though. I did say this. I was like, it kind of looks like it's gonna it's gonna be this like fake out trend to the downside, and it kind of did just that. I said if they really want to smack us, they'll bring us into sweep these low liquidity levels. And it looks like that's exactly what it did. It just like now it created that range to bounce out of. And then the obvious next point of control is, this was the point of control right here. That was probably the point of control for this price structure. If we were just like, yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Volume profile. I know, like that's the thing. That's why I'm making a video. I'm going to remind people about Do Kwon because he recently pled guilty. We're going to show the charts, what it looked like, what all the influencers were saying at the time, how it was like, Do Kwon was like the savior. And a lot of people were trusting millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars into this ecosystem, and it all went to zero. It just went kaput. And it was kind of like the domino effect for everything going down. So it shows like that by one thing like that happening, it could potentially cause a cascading panic and sell-off effect, and that's exactly what happened. And so I want to remind people about that and point out about all the different stable coins, and for people to just do their due diligence and don't just like put all your eggs in one basket and be like, oh yeah, I'm all in on USD1, I'm all in on USDE, I'm all in on USDT. I'm going to have a nice video reminding people about this. So then for me, I can be and do more due diligence and make sure that I'm not just like, if I'm going to have a stable coin or I'm going to try and earn yield or whatever, try and, weigh the risk, then actually do it. Because we could just have a bunch of stable coin in a particular place, and it would suck to not be able to have access to it, or you can't even use it, or it does depeg, it goes to zero, whatever it is, and you had all of it in this particular thing. So if it happened to, UST, and you had all your profits and all your whatever life savings in this stable coin, and it goes to 0.001 cent, that's not going to feel too great. You are going to be very upset. You're going to be very upset. You will be crushed. So that's why I think it's important you have to weigh the options. Diversification. It's really important. All right, so we're going to do a fixed range volume profile to find the point of control. Point of control right now from the range where we just like hit that top, we are basically under the point of control. Point of control is pointing at 118,000. It's kind of, and that's interesting because it's right in the middle of this, you know, between 116 or 115 right here and 116 or 120. Right in that middle range. But we had a really nice, you know, liquidity sweep to the top here, 124. And the bull markets are going to do this. I think it's if you look at it, we had sideways, pump, sideways. We can consider this sideways, even though we did, you know, break all-time high. We broke all-time high here too. Sideways. Up, sideways. Look. Up. If you look at this like a staircase, it makes more sense. If you look at this as a staircase, it makes a lot more sense. So is it this one? Block drawings. Oh, no, that's not that. Oh, I think it's this. It's kind of been doing something like this, you know? It's kind of been doing something like this. I don't know. No one knows. No one really knows. We just hope it does that. But that would be cool. Seems like it would. Seems like it follow a nice little trend. Nice little channel. Up to 133, 133,000. Neutrally bullish. I think that's being neutrally bullish. I think that's fair. I think that's fair, guys. Okay. Why was Bitcoin and Ethereum selling off to begin with? Well, they started selling off the ETFs. Now the two biggest cryptocurrencies by market cap are heavily price controlled, and liquidity of inflow and outflows besides the exchanges. Well, now we got the big boys in too, because they're flowing into the ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum, millions and millions of dollars on the daily, but then they're able to then also sell $500 million of Bitcoin on the daily as well. That's what happened yesterday for Bitcoin. And then for Ethereum, for the past 2 days, they have sold over $500 million as well. So that is, and then combined with Binance and Coinbase also liquidating high leverage trades in these ranges, that's why we're getting the big, you know, kaput dump that we had for the past couple days. But now on the daily and on the hourly, we are getting a bit of a recovery. We're bouncing off that range. Let's look at Coinbase. That looks promising that we kind of had, that we made a higher low. We made a higher low right here. That's very promising. We just have to watch for this. I think that's the last final boss right here. If we're going to go any lower, we would crash through 110 and just kind of you know, any of these levels right here in this range would be support to kind of, you know, do always the final shakeout, the final shakeout after final shakeout. And we could see what happens. Okay, portfolio breakdown. It's looking pretty decent. Everything's still, you know, all the altcoins got hit pretty hard. On the weekly, Arbitrum 5%, Polygon ecosystem doing pretty well. Right now, Polygon and Nakamoto Games are currently at the Gamescom, and they're going to be there promoting their games. And they're going to have a booth set up, so I wonder if we'd be able to catch them. But I think it's cool that they're there. I don't know if they're going to be actually on stream. But yeah, you bet if any of the crypto companies are smart, they're at Gamescom right now. And yeah, that is where Naka is at Gamescom. For the entire length of Gamescom, our Naka-powered gaming ecosystem will be streamed and showcased. Okay, yeah, there we go. Will be streamed and showcased live at the Polygon VIP Games Night in front of more than 400,000 industry leaders and gaming fans. So that's pretty cool. Super bullish on that. Yeah, and speaking of Naka, it is up 2.5% today. Not too bad. Kind of saw this bouncing off a little bit of a trend here. We think crypto gaming is going to be this, you know, a silent, sneaky bull run that'll surprise everyone. Because even things like Sand token up 3%. Who knows? The metaverse tokens might get a might get a chance again. We'll see. All right, my friends. I think that's it. I think that's it for today. We appreciate you coming in. Just want to remind you, go to danocrypto.com. We updated a lot of stuff on the website. We cleaned it up a little bit, but also we added back a little fun Bitcoin trivia machine. Make sure you guide a friend to this. And then we want to remind you also that we do have a beginner cryptos course. It is live. So if you want to, like a family member, someone who just like just wants to learn about crypto, they're interested, but they just don't know where to start, then this is a cool place to send them, is to check out the course so they can get battle ready, battle tested for the inevitable migration to crypto. It's going to be a great migration because banks and all these institutions, this is just what will be used. And it's just like everything else. We are just like everything transitioned into, like, it's just like how you were writing in your checkbook and doing all your books and writing everything down and writing checks. No one does that anymore. It's all online. It's all digital. Everything is transacted through digital payment rails. It's just now going to the next step. And so you want to be ready for this. And even if you need someone to just be explaining it to you in videos and giving you examples through a course, some people need that. So direct them over there. Direct them to danocrypto.com. They'll get prompted. And also you'll see Crypto Beginners course link right there. It'll bring you to the website, little section about me. Also, then you go in and you check out the course, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with me with the microphone. I know it's a little bit, it's like a little bit different sound. Hopefully, we'll get it dialed in perfect. We'll get it dialed in just right. But we appreciate every single one of you. God bless you. May the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your families and help you accomplish your goals for the rest of the week. And let's stay calm. Make sure if you don't have a plan, get one. If you don't have an investment plan, create one. If you don't have a debt paying strategy and know a timeline of when you're going to pay your debts, figure that out right now. Also, as a reminder, the top 3 things that you need to be focusing on is learning about investing, learn how to use crypto and set up digital wallets, and you need to be learning how to use AI as an assistant for getting all of the things that you need in all of your different types of work done. Learn how to prompt all these different types of AI is very important. Top 3 things you need to be learning right now. Learn how to invest, and you can start small. Learn how to use crypto and these networks and what stable coins are and what each network does and how it works. And learn how to use AI. It's very important. So focus on those 3 things. Let's get our money up. Let's get our energy up. Let's strengthen our families. Let's strengthen our bodies. And let's crush this. Let's do it. All right. Done. That's my pep talk for today. Have a good rest of the day, and I will see you guys later on tonight's live stream. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOStonight.com.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to show you a really quick metric that I found fascinating. So 41% of the people that have been watching this channel and actually liking the channel and the content have not subscribed. 41% of you, but I will say 58% of you subscribed. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. But I want to say that the people that are not subscribed yet, please, won't you consider subscribing to the channel and joining the Dojo crew where we are educating ourselves. We're in the markets every single day. We're live streaming Monday through Friday, and we're also posting content on a daily basis that is keeping up with these cryptocurrency markets. And this is where the money is flowing right now, guys. So if you want to get these updates and you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you start subscribing and dinging the bell to be notified whenever I go live and post content, because you do not want to miss